I'm here today with a group of amazing people who are part of the cast of The Calling. I wonder if we could start this conversation by talking about when you feel you heard a call or received a call in your life. So Janine, when do you feel like you first got the tug or the pull or the call in your life?
Right. I grew up in church, and my mom introduced me to the faith through church and things like that. So fast forward to just getting to the point in my life where these, my secular jobs and experiences weren't really fulfilling, and I felt so out of place. And I got to the moment where I said, okay, Lord, I really need to know what direction I'm supposed to go in life. What am I supposed to do? And I did 30 days of fasting and prayer.
Oh, wow.
And before the 30 days was even up, I got my answer that I was called to be in ministry. I had this vision that Jesus accepted me into heaven. I've had to truly believe that God has called me and know for sure in my faith that I'm accepted by God, regardless of what anybody says.
How about you, Father?
The call to the ministerial priesthood of Christ was not something that came to me at an early age. If I speak to some of my brother priests, they knew at the age of 4 or 5, at least they say so. I don't doubt it. I trust what they say. But for me, it didn't happen that way. It was later in life, after serving in the military, when I started seeking my meaning of life, what I had been created for. Now, there was a long time there that I denied the call because I felt I was not worthy to the call of the ministerial priesthood. And honestly, what I've come to the conclusion is that who can ever be worthy? I've truly felt the hand of God, being touched by God when I received Holy Communion. And I said to myself, I want to share this with others.
Now, Bilal, talk about your process, because you were not raised in the Muslim tradition, so there was a conversion experience in here. How did this call come to you?
Actually, the call was made in my right ear as a child. My father, he is a Muslim, and so every child is born and the father calls the prayer in every child's right ear. But from childhood to 18, there was this yearning to find out what the calling was. I grew up in my grandfather's church, and every Friday night was youth night. And since I have a speech problem, my grandfather insisted that God wanted me to preach. So I had to preach. I had to prepare the sermon every Friday.
No pressure.
Yeah, so sometimes, like Moses, again, I'm a scripture person, Moses ran away from his calling, or, but then he ran into his calling, So by running from it, you run to it, because there's no escaping God except to God.
Or, unless you're Jonah and then you get vomited onto the shore.
Yeah, no. God
still get there anyway.
God spit you back up.
Right. How about you, Rob? Are you still getting it? Did it change?
Yeah. when I think of calling for me, in retrospect, I think of when I went to college, and Dr. Zone challenged us. He said, every day when I walk past this tree, every day for the past 20 years, I hear something from God. And he challenged us, go find a tree, find something, and ask God, and then expect to hear from him. So I drove around, didn't find any trees, and I got tired. I had to pull over, went to get a drink at the little truck stop. Was just praying and eating, and sat down, and it was at the park when I felt, and I heard specifically God say, you're going to maintain the heart of a pastor for the rest of your life. You're going to teach, and you're going to preach and evangelize.
I love all those images, and I love that when you literally heard something, it was that you always have the heart of a pastor.
Yeah.
Didn't say you'd always be a pastor, but you always have that heart.
So I feel like the party pooper because I knew this question was going to be asked, and I've been thinking about it for a long time. I mean, it's called The Calling. I need a call. I just can't put my finger on it. I tried so hard. I mean, I know every single day is a miracle. I love God so much, and I love the Torah so much. I love looking at people and I see their neshama, I see their soul. But the call, I had a pretty deep experience at a Fish concert last summer, and I felt like I had a good conversation with God. But I don't know, like the call, I'm waiting for it. I want it.
There's this practice in the Muslim tradition, and maybe Bilal can explain it further, of muraqabah, which, at the end of the day, you sit there and you ponder over your day and, where are you going in life? And it's really a re-examination of the journey that you're taking in life. And I would do that, I remember, particularly post-September 11th, because that's when people would question, well, what is Islam? And then I would question myself. I would say, well, what is it? What is it to me? What does it mean? I wore the hijab, but what did that mean? Started to realize that women, although we have a place in our homes and we have professions and great careers, we still don't have women who are considered religious leaders in our community. Part of my calling was, how can I help this process? How can I help, facilitate a real change in dialogue, in social interactions, and the different aspects of our institutions.
Shmuley, can you talk about the call for you, the first time you heard it, recognized it, thought you heard it, and how you responded?
I think I could point to hundreds of moments. Sometimes it feels like a call, sometimes that's external, there's a voice. Sometimes it feels like a silence. Sometimes it feels like a stillness. Sometimes it's physical. I can feel it physically. I either feel excitement or I feel a sense of just awe and trepidation. So part of my work is not to wait for some external calling, but to cultivate it, to cultivate an awareness to these voices, the voices of the divine, the voices of colleagues and friends, the voices of the vulnerable. I have to find it, and I have to help other people find theirs.
I hope when people see this film, they look for that call in their own life and see what it is and see their life as a ministry. So,
Thank you.
rock on
Rock on.
with your bad selves.
Woohoo!